So this is 1st July 2025 trade recap. Took one trade, we end up playing in our direction. So let's talk about the bias going into the day, how everything looked for me. So look, I started looking from the 4 hour and I find out that we have swept a daily high. Two major things had happened. We have swept a daily high, and we had went inside of a 4 hour. We had two fair value gaps down here. Now, if you look at the 1 hour from the daily perspective, here is the daily high got swept. Previous daily high got swept here, but we didn't had a proper. Then we came back into this fair value gap. Now, in order us to confirm the market structure shift, I want to see that we close through this low, and as well as in this case also break through this 1 hour fair value gap. At the same area, we got the 4 hour fair value gap as well. So once he came back into the 4 hour fair value gap, now in order to see it's getting disrespected, I want to see a 4 hour time frame close. So I was trying to understand it through the lower time frame, what can possibly go happen. So this is an idea that I would like to see, that this level get swept to consider as the market structure shift formation. Okay, so and so going to the 15-minute time frame, as you can see that we swept all of these liquidities down here, and I was waiting for some form of level to be swept to consider us to go lower. Now we have swept all of this liquidity. Going to the 1 minute, you would find out that all of this liquidity has been swept, and we had the clean push to the upside, and we still hasn't done the market structure shift yet according to the 4 hour to 15-minute time frame according. So I was waiting to see what happens. So at the time we swept this 15-minute high here, and we had this 5-minute fair value gap. So my idea was, if I want to see us come lower all the way down here, I would like to see this 55-minute time frame fair value gap get displaced. Okay, and by this time you can also see in the 1 hour time frame that we had not done our market structure shift yet. As you can see that we was not able to close through this range, and we end up closing back above. So it gave me an idea that we might, if we end up respecting this and push higher, what could be the drawn liquidity? This. So that means the shift in structure is still not formed yet, right? So we have a very high chance of going for that high. So look, from the 15-minute time frame, as you can see, these were swept, and I was looking to see that if this 5-minute fair value gap get displaced through, I would definitely look to see us come back into this into this low, sweep it, and from here I will try to see a 15-minute low got swept. So I will go into the 1 minute and will try to see our model if it plays out or not. Now what's end up happening, if you look at the 1 minute time frame around that area, here is the area, and you look at the volume profile, sorry, you look at the delta. This is a little bit too green, so you will find out that the delta is completely chopping. Okay, this is what exactly I found out coming into the day, that at this moment when I was trying to see that price will break through this, I saw the delta started chopping, and we had multiple divergence here and there. Like we had one divergence here, one divergence going on here, sorry, is it this? Yeah, one divergence here, then we had one divergence at these lows. There was multiple divergence. So when this kind of multiple divergence happens, you usually get ready for a chop, and as well as from the beginning the delta was chopping as well, so more like a balanced range. So my idea was, if I can look to see us break through this fair value gap, I would look to see us go push to the up, breakthrough. I would look to see us to go lower for that fair value gap, for that low, but if we can go push to the upside, we had an equal low up here. We can look to see us go into that as well. So if you look at the 15-minute time frame, there was a equal low as well at the time. Here it is, exactly here. You see that? You also had equal load up here. So if you can respect and displace back, I'll be pretty confident as for going into this. And this could be the external target and this would be our internal target. But if we displace through this, then I'll be pretty sure to see us go back into this, and from there I can see the further confirmation, further structure to form our direction and everything. Okay, but what exactly ended up happening is I also had a bit of idea of the accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. As you can see, we have been accumulating. So I was thinking where the manipulation moves come. Okay, so if you look at it, we had this huge push to the downside, but we still wasn't able to close through this. Okay, we still wasn't able to close through this 5 minute, and we started slowly pushing upside. Now, I actually don't like, I will not consider this one as shift in structure, but what ended up happening is, if you look at the delta at that time, you will find out that we didn't had any divergence as well back that time. We had this massive push to the upside. Okay, this push, and we are so close towards that buy side level. Now this displacement can tell you that as you respected this fair value gap and displaced back higher, it all depends on the same core concept of respectance and disrespectance and what could be the next draw on liquidity. So if we end up respecting and displacing higher, I don't consider this one as displacement. This is nothing to me. Okay, I want to see that we break above this high. I want to see some displacement above this high. So as you can see, a big fair value gap equals to displacement. So we had this massive displacement to the upside, and we had this massive displacement to the upside. So what's end up happening, once we had this big displacement, I have an idea that we have a very high chance of going for this buy side liquidity. Now remember, initial idea is there is two possible way. As there is a high probability chance, as the market structure shift didn't played out, we have a chance of going push to the upside for a new high to form according to the 1 hour time frame, and according to the 4 hour to 15 minute time frame, we had a chance of coming lower. Now I have to find something in the middle that helps me to understand that. Now in this case, the 5 minutes working for me. If I'm seeing that 5 minutes getting breakthrough, 5 minutes getting displaced through, I am pretty confident that we will go here, and after we go here, I can look to see what happens from there. But if we don't and end up displacing higher, I cannot say we'll go all the way up here, but I can get it by step. Like in this case, if we can respect and displace higher, I'll be pretty confident with this equal high up here. If we can break above this, then I will now, if we can now break above this, now I'll be confident with that exactly we are going pushing to the upside. So it's connecting these things and understanding the validation invalidation. So what's end up happening that, okay, we end up breaking to the upside. Now I was waiting for some form of entry. Now I took my entry out of this order block. As you see, came back into this, close above this candle. I took my entry here, and I put my stop below this low and targeted for this high. End up being at 2.8 to 2.48 trade, not bad. And there is a thing that I want to talk about is, if you look at the 15-minute time frame at that time, 15 minute, 5 minutes, 5 minute exactly, this fair value gap, we have broke above that high. Okay, and we had this fair value gap just above here. Okay, just above this. And if you look at the 1 minute from there, look at the 1 minute, we hadn't came back into this fair value gap yet. This is the 5 minute fair value gap. Now there is 2 point of interests. Means what? We got this point of interest, which is a higher time frame point of interest, and this is a lower time frame entry POI, right? Now what you can do in this case, uh, this can also sometimes happen in the higher time frame as well. It happened yesterday charting session. I didn't took any trade, but it's end up playing out that we not end up coming back into this bigger time frame POI. We just came back, tap into that lower time frame POI, and end up pushing from there. It happened yesterday, it happened today as well. Now there is multiple ways of things can happen. Like what can happen possibly is we just swipe above it, then come back, do the internal and everything, and then we might push higher. Or we can just come, tap into this and displace higher. Now in this case, this one happened, that wasn't happened. Now because of that we have a very, we have also have a chance of coming lower, because they're just above where you entered. There is a higher time frame POI was settled down there as well. So what I did, I reduced my size. Why? Because I found out that we have a chance of doing that as well. But also I don't want to get like I don't want to like there is a chance of us getting stopped out. So what I did is I took 50% of my size out of this order block, and I put my stop below that, pretty tight stop, to get a nice RR. Okay, I could have put my stop here, but that wouldn't give me any perfect RR. So in order to get a nice RR, what I did, I put my stop pretty tight, okay, with less size. So even if I get stopped out and we come back into there again, and then from there we formed the displacement which shows the aggression of going higher back again, I can always enter back into the trade using my model and everything. But if it's end up playing out, I'll still be in the position with something. I'll still be in the trade with some position, not full size, but some position that will be making money for me. Now in this case, we end up not coming back and started pushing to the upside. So these are some conditions that you need to understand, and you use it, and by understanding these conditions you need to play your risk accordingly. Okay, in this case, yes, nobody knows what can happen. You could have easily get stopped out. So because there was a chance of us getting stopped out, we are taking entry quite a bit after, and implementing, specifically saying there is that higher time frame POI just below us, there has a chance of price attracting there. So, and we also didn't want to miss the POI. So I entered into this. I managed my risk in this situation by reducing my risk to 50%. Okay, and one more thing is, these kind of order blocks are very, this is the way of forming order blocks, and these are very specific and special. So these are exactly gonna find that, you see, it came back in a down close candle into uptrend, coming out of a specific level, like out of a fair value gap, out of another order block that we call the propulsion block, and if we sweep out something like the shifting structure, right, that we sweep out some highs or lows. In this case, as you can see, swept out this and displaced above. So this also became a pair of order block that we call the breaker block, right? But all the same thing. So these kind of order blocks are pretty strong, and we usually see nice push from here. So that's why I took the entry, and this one ended up playing out pretty nicely. Okay, and now talk about that. As you know, because of the drawdown, I'm risking very less. Like in this trade, I risked 0.50 cents. Now, if you were into this trade, how would you be able to manage it? This is also pretty important. Let's say you actually took the entry from here and everything working out. So how would you actually manage this trade? So how would you manage it? It's very important to understand your external target and internal target. Okay, this is a simple approach of doing is, when the internal target is hit, you have to take something out of the position Now that's completely up to the trader how and how much he want to get the how much he would like to get out of the position. Okay, my case, when the internal is met, I would like to take approximately 80 to 90% of my position out, and once that much amount is out, then I will let the runner the rest of the position till my external target, and I will not give it anything. Like if it gets stopped out, I'll accept it. If it didn't get stopped out, then I will try to get the maximum out of it by scaling it to the external target and absolutely putting my stop to break even. So this is the way I could have uh, managed this trade, because simply saying is the amount I actually traded with the 0.02 volume, so there is nothing I can actually take it out. I closed my full position at the 2 hour. Otherwise, if I had bigger capital, that's how I could have managed the trade. It's very important to understand where to enter, what is your target, as well as how to manage the trade. Okay, anything add-ons like scaling positions could be this. As you can see, these are also, see the way it get respected. Now this order block, these pairs of down close candles are considered as a propulsion block. As you close above this, you always gonna see that if a propulsion block get respected, price will never come below 50% of that propulsion block. As you can see, never come back, and we have this massive push to the upside, end up taking our external target. So this is the trade for the London session. A bit off, this trade wasn't a complete very good because there was multiple things here and there, and I was pretty narrow targeted bias, because we were into this higher time frame interest. Like here we have the 4 hour fair value gap, upper we have the daily high got swept. So my idea was I was trying to focus on small time frames and trying to anticipate those. Actually not anticipating, trying to understand the validation invalidation on the basis of the lower time frame. Like in this case, I made the 5 minute time frame fair value gap to prior to get the understand what could be the next most possible liquidity. This is a very simple understanding. If you see this one getting respected and you're displacing higher, what could be the next on liquidity? This equal high, very good liquidity. If you can break through that, then simple, the next on liquidity has to be this one. It's pretty confidently you can say, right? So this is the London session trade. Let's now talk about the New York session. Now New York session, we had Powell's speech and a few news here. As you can see, we had Fed Powell's speech, ISM manufacturing PMI, then we got job openings, everything. So I actually waited for 7:30 to pass away and then look for the trade. Now actually wasn't able to find anything. There was a setup. Absolutely, I would say there was a setup that I could have taken, but I wasn't like a little bit unsure with that. So let's talk about it. Looking back into this, as you can see, the 1 hour. So going into the 1 hour, my idea was again based on this fair value gap. Is a little bit more easy and better than the London session, right? It was a little bit choppy here as well, as you can see. So now I'm getting a little bit more expansion type of thing. So my idea was invalidation validation level was that 1 hour fair value gap. If I can see the 1 hour fair value gap gets invalidated, my bias will be bearish. As you can see, it's happening, and this will also confirm the market structure shift. Now I want to see how we displace through this low. That would confirm our market structure shift from the daily high sweep. And there comes, if we validates it, then our drawn liquidity has to be this high, London high. So let's see what happens. 7:30 closes. We waited, we closed through this. Now looking at the 5-minute time frame, 15-minute time frame, very less things to understand, because there is multiple things there. Okay, one fair value gap here as well. So looking at the 5-minute, I was trying to understand, do we close through that or not? So we end up breaking through this one and took some time. Actually it's 8:30. This is when the new candle opens. So here if you go to the 1 minute, there was this 5 minute time frame something. Mm, there was one trade I was looking to take, but actually I didn't took it, which was we break through that. And uh, what is that this trade was here. Like, if you look at this, by this time we are around 10 minutes away from opening. Okay, and there was a 5 minute fair value gap around here. Okay, there was a 5 minute fair value gap around here, and I wanted to see like the same thing again, coming back to a single particular area which can confirms us what can possibly happen. Okay, so I was thinking if I can look to see us break through this fair value gap, I would look to see, like, if I see like we respect this fair value gap. Okay, we respect this fair value gap and displace lower, I can possibly say that this 1 hour has very high chance of getting breakthrough. Okay, this 1 hour fair value gap getting high chance of breakthrough. But if we end up displacing above this fair value gap, now that would be a whole different story, and then I will play according to that. It's not like we break through and we completely turned ourselves bullish. It's not like that. I will wait for more further confirmation. I'll wait for more structure to come to confirm and validates me. Okay, but in this case, as you can see, we end up coming into that, and we had this equal to, we had this internal swap. Maybe we had some form of divergence here as well by that time. Yeah, maybe not, maybe we didn't have any sort of divergence, but we had one divergence here. Actually, that divergence pushed us to go into that buy sell liquidity, sorry, this fair value gap. And once that fair value gap was made, we didn't have any divergence there, but we had a clean displacement, clean market structure shift. As you can see, high low, higher high, low low, nice big candle, nice displacement. As I said, that I want to see how we close through this. I want to see displacement and everything through that low. So as you can see, there's a big fair value gap equals to displacement. So this one trade I was hoping to take, but I didn't took it. I was actually waiting to see us come back into this breaker block, put a stop at the top and target that low down here. I was targeting this low, then the runner can go to the left. Now once this opportunity is missed, then we end up slowing down. Okay, as you can see, we end up slowing down, and here somewhere a new candle closed, opened, a new 1 hour candle open. So I was having a little bit of thoughts that as we broke through this fair value gap, okay, now this, after this trade missed, it missed. Now a new 1 hour candle open at here 8:30. Now my idea was that there is a few things can happen. If you look at the 1 hour time frame, we had broke through this fair value gap, so there is a chance that we might come back into use it as an inverse. So in this case, yeah, we can go come and do a little bit of thing and then finally come, because it's a 1 hour POI, so it's gonna take some time. Another one would be that we actually come lower and then displace higher by respecting this one, which is actually end up happening. So as we miss this move, I was trying to take some other trades out of here based on, you know, the order block continuation. Obviously I was actually thinking of taking out of this area first, then I didn't took it, and by that time I was hoping, but price was getting slowed down, and we are having divergence as well. If you look at this, we are having downward divergence. If you look at this, and this is kind of also not bad. We were having downwards divergence. As you can see, we are having divergence with these highs, so it was already showing us to come lower. So this was kind of showing that we might not have a chance of coming lower, but the delta is also kind of chopping if you look at it. Then we had one divergence here at that time here, as you can see. we had one divergence here, one divergence here. So whenever there is kind of two three divergence come, I slow down. I don't try to take any decisions, because most of the time you're gonna see we're gonna chop, we're gonna do different things. And when there was an idea for us to come above already, because there was a IFBG above, that we might can tap and come lower, two opportunities, and this one possibility was there alongside. We are having different divergence, and we just open the 1 hour just open, so we also have a chance for accumulating. So that's why I thought of not taking any trades, even though I was. But if this one trade would be a nice trade till here, I didn't took it. I was a little bit, I don't know what happened there. I didn't took it actually. I wasn't that focused there that time, so I didn't took it. By the time I was like thinking of taking, just the move end up playing. So I said, okay, that's all right. If it's gone, it's gone. There's nothing you can do. Now let's see what can happen next. So we end up coming here having this divergence, but also having this above divergence as well. So there is multiple divergence. Like anything above two divergence, the same price range is not good for me. We are having this divergence, then we are having this divergence, right? And we also had a chance of coming higher. So I wasn't actually uh, too sure with the order blocks that we are forming, because you also need some form of context right behind it. So I was kind of somewhat thinking that context was missing in this case, so I actually didn't took out anything. Okay, there I was actually thinking of taking it here. Yeah, it would play out slowly. Price actually went quite slow, as you can see, and then it's actually end up tapping back in. But if you look at the delta, it's like super straightforward, showing like very balanced price range, right? Very balanced. uh, like they're getting a fair price right now, so let's see what happens. But I was actually thinking that taking any trade from here actually would have worked out pretty well. If you ask me, I was kind of thinking of putting a stop up here and was thinking of targeting for this. Eventually would have worked out, but that's all right. But doesn't make it, this one time has worked out, doesn't. By taking these trades, I personally think if I had taken these trades and this trade would have worked out in my direction, that I personally believe that it would have caused false conviction. Okay, would have built false convictions. So in such scenarios, the best thing to do is actually risk off, go with risk off. The same trade that I did in the London session, that yes, I'm seeing that our there is an opportunity for us to come lower. So but I'm also seeing some nice uh, playbook contextual things that I can also play a trade along. So why not give it a try, but with a lower size? So if I risk, so actually going with maximum risk off. In that case, I went 50%. Here I could have also gone into 50%, no problem. Actually would have worked out pretty well, but I didn't do that. I actually was pretty close 8:45, so I thought like, okay, I got around like 5-6 minutes left into my session end, so let's just don't take it, right? Let's just call it a day, no problem. Let's just don't force try. But it's it's a valid thing that I did. I won't say that what I did was actually right, because this is what I do when I see multiple divergence happens, and I actually learned these things from losses. There was multiple losses for me to ignoring these divergences, so I am not doing it again. So I am what I'm doing, whenever there is multiple divergence, I'm slowing down. I'm getting ready for a job. I'm understanding my bias. I'm understanding my drawn liquidity again, to understand, okay, where could be the if this is the starting of the accumulation phase, then let's try to understand where the manipulation could be and where the distribution could be. If you just look at your bias, you'll be able to understand these two things. Okay, but here in this case, I could have gone with a lower size, but didn't took it. That's right. But here was a nice trade to till here, because if we really end up respecting here and displacing lower, proper formation of market structure shift and everything, the next drawn liquidity has to be this one. Then you could have left a few runners to see what happens, and it would also end up working out as well. So this was the New York session overall, actually. So nice day, not that bad. I want to see something. Yeah, the same shit. There's nothing particular. So uh, this is all for today session. So